The thug is in.
What is up, guys? This is Logan, also known as Election Pokemon Showdown, and yes, today we're talking about ADV VGC. Now, quick disclaimer. This is for a metagame where two restricteds are allowed. Usually ADV VGC or Ore Cup just has no restricteds, but we're trying this metagame out for the next Ore Cup, which is a tournament that is happening in 2 weeks on a Sunday, same time that I streamed before. Where you can use two restricted, so you should join that, and the Discord and all the resources will be in the description below. All right, let's get on to this video. So I'm gonna do just a quick team explanation. I'll put a timestamp if you just want to get to the battles and the best of 3 that I did. But so this is like one of my first attempts at a rain team. So obviously to start out, we got Kyogre as one of my restricteds. So this is a Kyogre plus Mewtwo team. The idea with this spread is that I wanted min speed just so that I could really make sure that I got rain turn 1 in case there is a Groudon, and obviously they can also run min speed, but you know the gist, or you get it. So this is min speed with enough bulk to live a Zapdos Modest Magnet Thunderbolt or Thunder, and also just good SPDF for like other Kyogre Thunder and Lottie Thunder. And then the idea is of course just Hydro Pump to do insane damage with 252, Ice Beam, Thunder, all that stuff. I mean, like just to beat Kyogre. Lumberry for T-Wave, and also just getting thundered by other Kyogres. Just seems smart. I don't want this thing getting slept. It's one of my main restricteds. Of course I want it to be fine. Also versus Swagger. Pair it with Ludicolo. Ludicolo just as a Rain Dance Abuser. Cherry Berry for Paralysis, because I have Lum on... Well, I guess I could have used... No, I have Lum on Kyogre, duh. This is to outpace Deoxys attack, which I realize isn't as important as I thought it was. Like, this was speedy Deoxys attack I outpace. I could probably put more bulk in this set, but of course the idea is just fake out support is awesome. Giga Drain for Kyogre pressure a bit, and then Hydro Pump for just damage. Just good Pokemon, nothing much else to say. Giga Drain also does damage with Kyogre. Main partner now is Mewtwo. So the idea with Mewtwo is that Latios and Latios with Soldew are like insanely good, and I want a Pokemon that can outpace them and pressure them. So Mewtwo has good enough bulk that I'm always gonna live one hit from Latios and even Kyogre. So like, and I like that Mewtwo is faster than both of them and pressures them with Thunder and Ice Beam, because Ice Beam 100% 2-hit KOs Latios. Which is nice, and Thunder. And then also Fast Boom is like huge, and not just a weak ass boom from like Gengar, but a really powerful self-destruct from Mewtwo. And I pair it with Silk Scarf here, and these EVs. What the heck? Yeah. By the way, if you're watching this far, you should consider subscribing, please. Anyway, yeah, this KO's Kyogre, and then Protect, because Protect is important, especially when I have 2 other boom users, one of which being Snorlax. Idea behind Snorlax is just to be a tank. I mean, it's good in ADV Ubers because Lotties are a thing. This is just supposed to switch into Lotties and just other powerful attacks and just fire off a boom. It's just, this defense is for living Metagross Meteor Mash, in case Metagross is still a thing, which it is, in this iteration of ADV VGC, and then Max SPDF. Tank hits, rest in attack, then a little bit of EVs just for other Snorlax. I don't know. Gengar is the other member of this team. I'm not sure how I like Gengar on this team, but the basic idea of my set was like, all right, I want something fast still. Like, I don't want Mewtwo to be my only fast Pokemon out of Rain. And I like the idea of Will-O-Wisping Metagross, because my team can struggle with Metagross a bit. And just Will-O-Wisping like things like Groudon or Groudon in general. Another boom threat. Thunder just for offensively utilizing the rain, just like Mewtwo and Ludicolo, and then Protect, and then Bright Powder just so that to make it annoying and that attacks miss. Lastly, the most interesting member of my team I think is Regice, and I wanted Regice. Regice is often in ADVOU, if that's where you're coming from, is often a kind of Snorlax that like more offensively threatens things like Mence and like Celebi, I guess. But here the idea is I want a lot of SPDF so that I eat really big rain hits from opposing Kyogre and opposing Latios, and this thing just switches into Lotties like crazy. And I wanted to offensively pressure Zapdos as well, and so Regice was my answer. Usually you might think Boom would be good, but I think I really like having Ice Beam Thunder coverage, of course. And then T-Wave is just huge in this metagame, just Paralysis in general, especially in the Rain Ditto, and then Protect. And I originally had lefties, but I decided on Quick Claw, because having the chance to have a Quick Claw Thunder Wave or a Quick Claw Ice Beam or Thunder is like really, really big. So yeah, this is the rain team. This is the team that I came up with, and let's get on to the battles. Also, I'm gonna delete my face now, so goodbye. You still wanted my face, I'm sorry. Anyway, so this is the team. So this is a person named Flowers for Doubles, or a Platano in the Discord. First time that I think they played ADV VGC. They come from like a bigger VGC background. I come from an ADV background, so it's kind of interesting to see. They have a similar, of course, Kyogre plus Ludi concept, but they have some other resources in the back, including a Dusclops, which I don't think is very good in ADV. In this metagame of ADV VGC with 2 restricteds, because it just gets so overwhelmed by like powerful attacks. But it is a boom. It is a boom immunity. It does get Helping Hand, and it can imprison boom from the other side, which would be pretty big on my team because I have 3 boomers and 4 potential boomers. But either way, let's just start. So obviously turn 1, I just think the most simple lead into their team is to just go the classic Kyogre plus Ludicolo lead. I didn't really want to overthink it and just see what happens. Turn 1, I fake out the Zapdos because I don't want my Kyogre to get, hit. And he makes the smart move and also just fakes out the Kyogre, not going for any Ludicolo speed tie. For now, I do know that my Ludicolo might be faster, but could be a speed tie. But it's likely that I'm faster with such a specific spread. So then turn 2, my Kyogre's in trouble. I decided to go for a Protect with the Kyogre, and my idea was here is that, so my Ludicolo right now outpaces Zapdos. Hydro Pump probably won't kill it. It could, but it probably won't because Zapdos might run Bulk. And even if I get T-Waved in return, my Kyogre has Lum and my Ludicolo has Cherry Berry, so I saw no threat in going for Protect and then trying to hit the Zapdos, right? But they make a really interesting move, and their speed control is something different. They have Icy Wind on Ludicolo, which now is really annoying. And I was like, oh god, this is annoying, because now my Ludicolo is slower than their Ludicolo. My Ludicolo is also slower than Zapdos if they're speedy. Even with the Swift Swim, -1 speed is just slower than most Zapdos, so I'm in big trouble now. So here I decide that even like the worst that can happen is Ludicolo could have Giga Drain, but I figured with Fake Out plus Icy Wind, the Ludicolo probably is Fake Out, Icy Wind, Hydro Pump, and Protect. Would be the set that makes sense. So I didn't see a threat of my Kyogre getting KO'd because again it lives Zapdos hits. So my idea here was, we'll see what happens. I go for double Hydro Pump into the Zapdos because they also burned their Protect the turn before, so I thought this was a relatively safe play, and anything that comes into the back isn't going to like to take 2 Hydro Pumps. At worst, it's a Latios, which would be actually scary, but I can always switch into the Regice, because in the back, I'll let you know I picked Mewtwo and Regice. Or, I forgot if I had Lax. I think it was, no, it was Mewtwo and Regice is what I kind of sussed out would be the right idea. So here we go. So they click Icy Wind again. Also to note really quick is that there's no dynamic speed is not a thing in Gen 3. So even though Ludicolo starts off with Icy Wind, the turn is still assuming that I had my original speed. So that's also goes for like if someone uses fast T-Wave, like if a Deoxys speed uses T-Wave on my Latios is still going to be faster than Zapdos that turn. I do still have that paralysis chance though. So Icy Wind is still good, but if it had dynamic speed, it would be nasty, but sadly it doesn't. So I go for double Hydro, and they reveal Substitute Zapdos, which is a thing from regular ADV VGC. Oh shoot, I forgot to change to my other music. I am very sorry for this. What was I gonna do? Pokemon Coliseum music. Battle music. Hold on. Hold on, everybody. Calm down. Here we go. Here we go. Now, I go for double. Let's go to that last turn again. Oh wait, they detect. Yep. Okay, now they go for Icy Wind. It's not doing too much, but I am really slow now, especially my Ludicolo. Definitely slower than a Metagross in the back. I missed the first Hydro and I hit the second one. So yeah, I might have had them with the double Hydro play, but it's not the worst thing in the world because like I'm relying on a 64% chance, which is hitting 2 80% accurate moves in a row. Which again is whatever. And yeah. Either way, now I'm in a pretty bad So I was at a -2 Ludicolo and a -1 Kyogre, and so I figured that now is probably the time. Let's actually try to get back. I'm trying to hold on a second. Let's go. Let's just try to really quick. I'm sorry. I know. Okay, missed the Hydro Pump, and it breaks. All right. So I'm in a bad position right now, right? I got -2 Ludicolo, -1 Kyogre. I could go for that double Hydro Pump play again, but there's no reason that Zapdos can't just keep clicking Substitute, which bothers me. So I figure I need to double reposition, and I think I had the right idea with the double reposition. However, I made a really faulty play, and this is something to look back on. So when you want to make a double switch, you need to think about what slot the Pokemon is going in, and right now, what is being pressured is the Kyogre. Kyogre could get Thunderbolted and potentially Giga Drain if it has it. And for some reason, I decided to go into Regice in the Ludicolo slot and Mewtwo in the Kyogre slot. And we can see that I get really hard punished. That crit 100% mattered, but if I switched Regice into the slot that was taking the special hits, that crit wouldn't have killed me. And I could have a Quick Claw chance, but also that was just where I was supposed to switch in Regice to take the hits. And my Mewtwo should have been in the other slot because Ludicolo wasn't as likely to be targeted. Yeah, just a minor thing, but it ended up mattering big because now I am at -1 Pokemon, and their Pokemon have barely taken any damage. I don't even know what 2 back Pokemon they have. So in comes my own Ludicolo again because I figured I have Fake Out pressure here, which I like. And yeah, and so I figured here, I actually make a smart play here. I figured that Zapdos has a lot of pressure. You know, I could obviously, you know, fake that out and Ice Beam it. So I decide to go Giga Drain on the Ludicolo, and then I decide to Ice Beam the Ludicolo. Here's what I should have done, however. I think I should have faked out the Ludicolo, and then I also should have Ice Beamed it. I think not clicking Fake Out was a misplay. But either way, here comes the Starf Berry, which is a bizarre item that under 25% of your HP, one of your stats is randomly raised by 2. So I guess the idea is like hoping that you can maybe get like a speed or a special attack boost. I think Cherry Berry is a lot more solid, but this does have an interesting amount of variance that you could utilize. So either way, my Ludicolo is now slower than both Pokemon on the field, and I do have a Regice, and so let's see what happens here. They decide to go with Icy Wind again, just trying to, in case I switch out. Zapdos click Substitute as it should. I go for the Ludicolo kill, nothing amazing happens here, and I go for the Ice Beam on the Zapdos. And now, this Metagross is in an immense spot. I don't know how good I think Metagross is in this metagame, but with Icy Wind support, it's obviously putting a lot of pressure. And here's where I believe a misplay. So Metagross's main selling point is obviously the threat of Boom, and it also should KO Regice here. I assume it's banned here. So here's what happens. So I go for a double protect because I'm afraid of the explosion plus substitute play. However, I need to realize that double protect was not really necessary here because here's the thing. Their Metagross, they don't have to risk it with that Boom play. They are in a clear advantage state here, and they don't really lose much by going for Meteor Mash plus Thunderbolt, which they did, or trying to kill the Regice. Like, they can kill the Regice with Meteor Mash, and Ludicolo will take big damage from a Thunderbolt, and then they can have a Pokemon in the back that takes care of it, that cleans up, such as a Kyogre or a Lottie. I didn't mean to make the double protect play. Like, maybe if I wanted to play to my outs and try to fish for a cheese win, but realistically, let's see what happened here. What I really could have done, which is interesting, is, I mean, they kind of covered it. They kind of covered me going back to Kyogre, to reset Ludicolo's speed and also have a Fake Out support in the deck. They kind of cover that with Thunderbolt, but what I really could have done is I could have Hydro Pumped the Metagross, and protected Regice to keep it safe. But instead now I've burned both of my protects, and I have a lot of pressure. They make a smart play here in that they go Thunderbolt, which the crit did matter, that killed, and they go Meteor Mash, and I have to switch my Regice in. Cute ADV doubles mechanics. You have to have 4 Pokemon on the field before a move can be clicked, if that's possible. So they got a double kill with a lucky crit, but still, like, they covered both of the options. A Pokemon was dying there anyway, because Thunderbolt plus Mash was going to kill that Kyogre, and my Regice was just in a tough spot. I couldn't do anything about that, and they realized that, and Hydro Pump misses just to seal the deal, but this is over. I get Thunderbolted, doesn't kill like I thought it wouldn't, and then they reveal Sludge Bomb, and they reveal that it isn't banned, which is useful information for my next match, but Sludge Bomb also makes sense for opposing Ludicolo. And I get absolutely tossed this game one, like totally tossed. And now it's time. How do I retool and how do I reshuffle? So let's look at the leads from this past game one. I went with Kyogre, Ludicolo, Zapdos. They made a good play in expecting that rain was coming out. And so game two, I wanted to play with the idea that like maybe I'm also hoping that they just set the rain up. Or if I get a Zapdos Ludicolo lead, Mewtwo plus Ludicolo can be smart because I can get fake out pressure plus an Ice Beam off. Instead, they kind of cover that maybe with like a Metagross lead, which is interesting. I think they realized that maybe Protect plus Icy Wind is a cool play on Ludicolo in this. But either way, right now, my Metagross is exerting a lot of pressure. I can't really KO the Metagross. I'm pretty sure Thunder plus Hydro Pump didn't kill, and either way, I'm never gonna get that off because of the fact that Ludicolo can just click Fake Out. I also know from this game, ding 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 ding, that this Ludicolo has Fake Out, Icy Wind, Giga Drain. I'm assuming it just lacks Protect, because surely you would want to utilize the fact that you have Hydro Pump. So I'm predicting that it doesn't have Protect. Either way, I decided to play it really safe around Metagross, and I switched Kyogre in. Potentially on like a Meteor Mash, but then I also double cover for that by faking out the Metagross. I don't know about this play, but either way, I figure a fake out was coming as well, and like this thing is fine into fake out. But they make, and like I think that was a misplay, right? I think that was just not my play to. I mean, like theoretically, faking out the Metagross is fine because it covers for Sludge Bomb, but if Metagross isn't banded Sludge Bomb, it's not going to kill my Ludicolo. And I think I needed to try and fake out the Ludicolo and hope that I was faster. But either way, like I think I could have just switched in Kyogre here like I did, and then maybe fake out the Ludicolo? I don't know. Interesting ideas here, but either way, I bring in the Ludicolo, I fake out the Metagross. I don't want that thing booming in case it tried to. And here comes the Icy Wind pressure again. My Ludicolo should be faster than the Metagross, but my Kyogre is now slower than the Metagross, and the boom threat is huge, especially if they maybe brought that Dusclops in the back, which I don't think they needed to switch up their 4 if they won with it, but the Dusclops could be in the back to utilize a boom, but also you could just click Fake Out. Either way, I'm now at -1/-1, and I suss out Metagross as a big threat, and I decide to try to double pump that slot and kill it. Now, Kyogre's pump would just kill it, but I want to cover for the fact that maybe Ludicolo's pump could miss, and I double pump that slot, and I get punished. Ludicolo clicks Giga Drain, I pump again, and now I'm still on my back foot. Now, that Metagross slot is ultra pressured, and I expect there to maybe be a Kyogre in the back. But I also want to cover for the fact that Metagross could stay in. So I decided to go Giga Drain plus Hydro Pump in that slot. And of course, they have the almighty Latios, and Ludicolo is still pressuring my Kyogre. So I Giga Drain, and then I also missed the pump. So I am yet again in a bad spot. And like the Hydro Pump miss mattered a bit because that's good damage, but I wasn't like killing it. So now, as you can see, I'm in a bad spot. I mean, both of my Pokemon are slower than both of their Pokemon. Both Ludicolo and Latios pressure Kyogre with a KO. And, yeah, so let's see what happens. I believe, yeah, we get a Regice and a Protect. And so here we go. They go with Icy Wind to try to pressure a switch out maybe into Mewtwo. And they try to go for D-Claw to focus on the Kyogre, knowing that if Kyogre protects, both of them attacking that slot wouldn't be useful. So why not just have one of them attack the slot and then have the other one do something? I think maybe a different idea then could have been to Giga Drain this slot and then just have Latios like D-Claw this slot and just see what happens. Or Thunder it, but turns out that they don't have Thunder, but we didn't know that yet. So now Kyogre's Burn to Protect and Regice is in. Interesting enough, Latios goes Protect. And so, here's what I should have realized. So I also made another misplay here. So second Kyogre, fine. But I Ice Beam the Latios. And here's what the problem with this play is. So let's go back to here. We get the Protect. We get the Icy Wind coming into the Kyogre. D-Claws on the Kyogre. Doesn't do enough. All right. So I think what I should have realized here is like both of the Pokemon yet again are can KO the Kyogre this turn. Um, the problem is that I should have realized that Regice is exerting some offensive pressure. They're likely going to keep the Latios safe from any Regice damage and just kill with Ludicolo because like if you kill with Latios and then protect Ludicolo, like I'm not ice beaming the Ludicolo. I'm gonna ice beam the Latios. Like that's the most damage dealt. And I should have realized that, and I should have just ice beamed the Ludicolo for damage, or thundered and try to fish for paralysis, which might have actually been the play. Um, because we know that this is in Cherry Berry or Lum, and that could have been huge. But instead, I feel like I make a misplay, and there goes Kyogre. I try to Ice Beam the Latios, and I am now just down one Pokemon, and I'm at a big disadvantage. Mewtwo does exert now Boom plus Protect pressure, especially since Lati is protected. However, what I kind of think about is that, like, all right, so I could boom and protect this, but what's in the back is likely Metagross plus Kyogre, and I don't know if Ludicolo. Well, maybe that could have been a play, but I'm not sure. What did I click here? I decided, so Icy Wind comes out instead. I thundered the Ludicolo, and I try to just keep putting pressure on that Ludicolo because I want that thing gone. I mean, I guess I should have just boomed here. Now that I think about it looking back, maybe boom was just the play. I mean, Metagross coming in would have been difficult, and we know that the Ludicolo probably doesn't have Protect. But either way, now my Mewtwo is slow, and there's a lot of pressure coming in on the Mewtwo, and I realize this, and also that Spadef boost by the Starfberry was clutch because now Ice Beam probably doesn't KO. But either way, I realize that Mewtwo has a lot of pressure, and they decide to double target it-ish with Surf. So I guess the idea of Surf is like if Giga Drain didn't kill the Mewtwo, which it might not have, Surf covers for it, and it does some chip to the Regice, while also covering like a, I don't even know. It doesn't really cover much else. I think Declaw was, I mean, Surf just kind of helped cover with the Mewtwo in case it didn't KO, while also doing some chip damage to that. But Surf reminder is 50% damage because it only targets the opponents in ADV, as opposed to a move like Earthquake, which because it targets everyone, it's full damage, which is an interesting ADV mechanic. But either way, I try to go for Ice Beam, and I still don't kill that Ludicolo. So, what's the play here? I want my Mewtwo. I want a fast Mewtwo in the back, right? So I decide to go out to Ludicolo, and you know they Giga Drain the Regice, which is interesting. I don't know why they did that, but they declaw that, and I kill the Ludicolo, and now we have a game scenario here. So here's my play, right? My Regice has Quick Claw, and I see my only way out being Quick Claw thundering the Metagross and Hydro Pumping the Metagross. That's like the only thing that I really see. They also really could have Icy Winded that last turn, and that's my only way out. So what they decided to do instead is they go double Protect, which is interesting because, you know, Ludicolo obviously does exert Fake Out pressure, but I wasn't trying to Fake Out plus Thunder because then Latios kills my Ludicolo. I need to make the Thunder plus Hydro Pump play now. So they've double Protect. I'm like, I don't care if you double protected. I'm going for that play again. And I get the Quick Claw Thunder into Hydro Pump hit. Ludicolo goes down, and we have a game. Last two versus last two. Here we go. It's Mewtwo versus Regice. I protect, sensing that there's going to be a Dragon Claw potentially coming, and I can't 2-hit KO anything right now, except like I could Ice Beam and then maybe Ice Beam the Lottie, but I didn't want to. Why I protected Mewtwo is I didn't want Latios to click Protect, me double target Latios, and then Zapdos Thunderbolt my Mewtwo, and then it's Regice versus those two, which I lose. So I had to try to predict that move maybe, and try to KO the Zapdos with Ice Beam and protect my Mewtwo, which I did, but Zapdos plays it safe and clicks up. So now I go for the Ice Beam into the Latios. Latios kills that, doesn't protect, Zapdos subs, and I Ice Beam now. And so I really think they could have protected there, because like I kind of burned my Protect. But either way, now we got Zapdos and Endgame Regice. I click Protect just to be cute, why not? And now it's the question of, does the Pataya Thunder kill? Thunderbolt does nothing because it's Regice. Ice Beam's gonna kill, and they're gonna sub into Pataya range. Here it comes. We got the Ice Beam. They're gonna sub again. Let's see if it kills. You can probably tell by the video length that it doesn't kill because it's also just Thunderbolt. But here we go. Bam! Thunderbolt does not kill, and I have won game 2 with some luck, and some I really misplayed on a lot of them, but now we have a really interesting game 3. So, my idea of game 3 was I was just going to go with my original Kyogre Ludicolo idea because at this point I have 100% sussed out that my fake out is faster than their fake out. So what I can do is if they lead like Ludicolo Kyogre again, well, they didn't lead that last time. If they lead like Ludicolo Zapdos, or if they lead that Metagross Ludicolo play or whatever, either way, if they lead Ludicolo, which they're likely to do, I can fake out their Ludicolo first, which is huge, and I can get Thunder Pressure from my Kyogre. So let's see what happens. So we go Kyogre Ludicolo. This time, we're not waiting for our opponent to bring rain. Everybody's bringing the rain. Also notable is that their Kyogre is obviously faster because I am min speed, as their Drizzle went first. So now, my play here is pretty obvious. I'm going to fake out the Ludicolo, take that out of the turn, and I'm going to try to Thunder the opposing Kyogre, because then I know that next turn, no matter what, unless this motherfucker Kyogre has Icy Wind, shouldn't have said that, my bad. Either way, but if this Kyogre has Icy Wind, like, I should still be set, probably. But either way, that's the only way that this goes awry. So I fake out the Ludicolo, yep. They flinch. They go for Thunder into my Kyogre. I'm safe. I have Lum. I Thunder theirs. They get paralyzed, and it turns out that they do not have Lum on their Kyogre. Maybe Mystic Water. Who knows? So here I make a minor misplay, right? So here's the thing. So what I do is, I'll just show what happens. Like, I try to Giga Drain that Kyogre. Kyogre protects. I try to Giga Drain it because I don't want it to get another Thunder off. But then I also don't protect my Kyogre, which I think was just a silly play because I lose nothing by going Protect on Kyogre here. Because, like, I think what I might have done here actually is I wonder if I Thundered the Ludicolo. I forgot what I did, but I probably should have just protected Kyogre, because the worst that happens is, like, I guess they switch into, like, a Latios and they pressure my Kyogre, like, from the Ludicolo, but I don't think Ludicolo really needs to switch out. But either way, so I lose my Ludicolo, but whatever. Their Kyogre is still paralyzed. I'm exerting a lot of pressure on it. My simple player is obviously Giga Drain the Kyogre. Surely they're not going to save a paralyzed Kyogre, because they don't need it to reset Rain. Maybe if I had a Groudon, that would make sense. But, so I just Giga Drain, and I don't Ice Beam Ludicolo. I T-Wave the Ludicolo, because that thing is very annoying. So yeah, sure, you get your Icy Wind off, whatever. But I'm T-Waving the Ludicolo, and now that Ludicolo is neutralized. It can keep Icy Winding, but now even at -1 speed, ADV Paralysis quarters your speed, so my Ludicolo is faster than their Ludicolo, and my Regice is here. Here I believe I make an intelligent play, and I realize that I forgot what I did here, actually. Let's see what I did. Oh, they go out to Metagross. Crazy. What were they? Oh, they're going out to Metagross with the Zap to try to bait, like, perhaps me clicking Ice Beam into it. But I just Hydro Pump it anyway, and then I do Ice Beam it. So I Hydro Pumped and Ice Beam the Zapdos. It could have, like, here's the thing. So let's just go back to this turn real quick, and then they go out to Zapdos, and then I T-Wave it after the Icy Wind. Sorry. Don't worry. Yeah, you know that the speed goes. And then, so here's the thing. So their Zapdos could protect on my Hydro Pump plus Ice Beam, but I don't really see what they do about protect. Like, their best play in that scenario probably could have been protect Zapdos into maybe switch out to Metagross because nobody's targeting Ludicolo. I don't think Ludicolo exerts no offensive pressure right now. It's barely doing anything to the Ludicolo. It's barely doing anything to the Regice. It's not doing much damage. So I figure I can hyper target that slot, and I make the right read, and I Hydro Pump and Ice Beam it, covering both. My Hydro Pump unfortunately misses, and I get my Ice Beam crit, which I guess is maybe justifies it a bit. But now I'm still in quite a predicament. Right now their Metagross could just straight up boom, and I lose both of my Pokemon, and they lose their Ludicolo, which would then leave my Mewtwo in the back, versus there's Zapdos, which obviously I should win because the Zapdos is 100%. Like, I would win that. So I shouldn't be too afraid of Boom. What did I do here, actually? trying to think of what I did. Let's see what I did. I think I protected Regice and switched into Mewtwo. Yeah, so oh god, whoopsie. Hold on, let's bam. So I protected Regice and I switched into Mewtwo because my Ludicolo was at -2 speed at that point. I didn't want it to get sludge bombed, and Metagross clicking Meteor Mash is a hard move into my Ludicolo because of the fact that it it resists Meteor Mash, and I could get a Hydro Pump off into that Metagross. So I figured that they would either try to sludge bomb that slot, which Mewtwo tanks, or try to attack the Regice. And again, I really don't think the Ludicolo poses a threat, as they're not going to click Hydro Pump into a Ludicolo. So they protect. The Ludicolo gets paralyzed. Who knows what it was doing there? Icy Wind would have been pretty annoying. I'm really realizing that Icy Wind Ludicolo could just pressure switch outs insanely because it still gives Rain an advantage. But either way, here my Regice is in trouble. But I decide to Thunder the Ludicolo, and I try to fish for a Quick Claw Ice Beam. So I have no switch in, as you can see. Well, I could have switched in the Ludicolo into here, I guess. I guess that actually could have been a play. I don't know why I didn't go for that. I think I thought that... Why didn't I do that? Now that I think about it, why didn't I just do that? Hold on a second. I protect the Regice. Here comes the Metagross. Click and protect. Ludicolo's paralyzed. Why did I not just... So I Thunder the Ludicolo because I want to break it down because Hydro Pump pressure is annoying than Mewtwo. But then I let that thing die, and I guess I really shouldn't have done that. Why did I do that? Why did I not just go into the Ludicolo? I am not sure, but either way, annoying. Now I'm still kind of on the back foot again, and I switch Ludicolo out, and now it's Ludicolo Mewtwo versus a paralyzed Ludicolo and a Metagross. So now again, their Metagross could literally win the game by clicking Explosion right now. Thankfully, because I have my Ludicolo in now, I have Fake Out pressure, so I can just fake out that Metagross. I can fake out the Metagross, and I can Thunder the Ludicolo, which I believe is the play that I make. See, sure, okay, they protect, whatever. I'm not going to play around that protect. I Thunder the Ludicolo, and it gets paralyzed, which is unfortunate, because Ludicolo definitely could have clicked Hydro Pump into Mewtwo, which then would have allowed Meteor Mash to KO the Mewtwo. Mewtwo could have then clicked Protect the next turn, but either way, the paralysis was pretty big. But such is the way with Yellow Magic. So now, Starfberry, fortunate no speed boost, even though it would have mattered. I now get to KO the Metagross, because I'm still faster, and I Ice Beam the Ludicolo. So that paralysis was pretty big. If they got Icy Wind off, the game would have been different, but now it's the end game of Mewtwo, and I pressure, and it turns out that my Ludicolo just fucking KOs. It's 252 plus Modest, but that means that is a not bulky zap at all, which surprises me. But there you go, and looks like I won the game. So I won the set. It was a really cool set, really cool teams, and I just thought I'd show off the Rain Ditto in Pokemon Coliseum. If you guys want to play some games, of course, join the Discord. Hope you guys liked my analysis. Comment below what you liked about it, what you didn't, you know, all that stuff. Like the video. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video.